Finding new vulnerability classes is about taking seemingly disconnected topics and putting them together in a way that yields some sort of security consequence. So I'll just walk you through what I was thinking. So I was
Okay.
reading the code of this application and it had an include statement. And at that point in time, I had done remote, and this is PHP code. I had done remote includes to get remote command execution. So I knew, hey, I could do this. But then I said, how does include work? Are there other things that I could do besides a website? Could I connect to PHP, FTP, or SMB connection? So my first thought was actually just connecting remote to other things. And then I started reading the actual code in C of the how include worked. And I saw that it supported different protocols, but it also supported like data colon slash and local stuff. So it would local check things. So then you think to yourself, okay, I've just learned information from the documents that I've read and from reading the source code. And now I'm going to think to my ultimate end goal is I want to run code. I want this function to run code. Where can that code exist? And then I knew Linux file system knowledge. I knew that standard installs had standard logs. And then I knew what could go in those logs, what data could go in those logs. And even if I didn't know these things, I could go and research them. So it's a mix between just knowing a lot of random facts and then sometimes seeking the situations that allow you to put the random facts together with a certain condition, and all of this information gets together into an exploitable situation. So that's finding a new vulnerability class is random facts and knowledge with like purposely trying to correlate those things into an end state.
Yeah.
And that's how it worked for me.
So there's so much stuff you've said there, like jumping across multiple languages,
Yeah.
jumping across multiple systems. No, it's great, but it gives us an insight because I'm breaking this down going, you're obviously saying stuff and a lot of that you probably just take for granted now. But yeah, like I said, there's
Yeah,
multiple languages there,
absolutely.
multiples. Yeah.
That you're totally correct. There's multiple dimensions here because I would have never known how to do this if I didn't study the Apache web server. If I didn't say, okay, I want to learn the Apache web server and I want to learn how this thing operates, I would not have known to do this PHP thing in this way. And if I didn't have previous experience with Linux package installation, then I wouldn't have known where the logs were. And if I didn't have knowledge about file systems and like %00, then I wouldn't have been able to truncate something and make it work on an inode. So it's just a bunch of random things that kind of all coalesce together. And then now you can exploit local file inclusion.
No, there is. Yeah, thank you, mate. No, it's really good. And also, if you hadn't done that, going back to not just what you used to do on a Sunday for 4 to 8 hours, but if you hadn't done that extra work, which is compounded over weeks, months, years, decades, if you hadn't done all that, then you probably would have never got there in the first place. It's all these things that make a difference, mate. Yep.
The other thing is also studying patterns. So you study patterns that are released by other people. So watching the Black Hat talks about new vulnerability classes, reading advisories, how did other people do this? So those patterns become patterned onto your mind after you absorb them. Oh, okay, this person figured out that A, B, C, and D are all correlated, and now they have a new vulnerability. So now you can abstract those patterns and apply them to other systems in other ways.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, mate. This is good. This is great. And I think as well, you are taking a really holistic view on things as well. You're not just looking at something there, close up for anyone just listening. You're stepping back and I think you're really taking a holistic approach and obviously applying a lot of knowledge that you've learned across a certain period of time. But mate, thank you. That's good to get an insight into your mind.